just sitting around and gossiping, which she found most annoying. Upon meeting Echidon, she greeted the leader of the 5 noble demon realms. "Apologies for my tardiness, the vehicle malfunctioned again," said Echidon, looking at Ein inside the sphere and laughing heartily, as she had expected. Loanna, puzzled, asked if she was interested in him. Indeed, he was a boy with unique eyes but still just a human. She couldn't believe that a human could kill Falco and Shadow. It wasn't just luck, it was skill twice over. Echidona wanted Loanna to kidnap a World Tree Spirit. Then Ein would automatically come to them seeking the World Tree Spirit, and they wouldn't need to capture him. Alice found Ein and said she had some things to discuss. She seriously talked about establishing a timeline and information on the remaining World Trees. Alice also expressed her desire to reunite with her sisters. Everyone was joyful and thankful to Alice. Alice mentioned it wasn't just a discovery, but a necessity. Yuri asked what she meant, and Pien admitted his confusion about these complexities. Ein asked if anyone else heard a different sound while they were talking. Crush appeared, smiling, saying she had been discovered. Pina, seeing her sister, ran to her joyfully, revealing that she was their second sister. Ein was surprised that a spirit could come here on her own. Crush explained the real reason for her visit. The demons were targeting the World Trees, and she needed Ein's help. They were trying to hold off, but the enemy might be stronger than anticipated. Ein immediately agreed to help but asked where Crush's World Tree was. Crush said they weren't targeting her, but May's World Tree. Yuri laughed, saying May was their youngest sister and very adorable. Alice mentioned that while researching the Lestic territory, she discovered Abyss had found May's World Tree, which seemed to have a hidden labyrinth. Ein guessed May's guardian was doing their best, but Crush interjected that May's guardian had long been sacrificed. The World Trees were valuable magical resources, so many sought to seize them at any cost. That's why Crush took it upon herself to protect May. Ein thought Crush was just a spirit, and spirits couldn't leave their World Trees. Alice informed him that the 3 elder great spirits had the ability to act independently. So, they can move freely to some extent. Ein understood that currently, Crush was protecting May while she was hiding in a forest labyrinth. The demons came again, wanting to kidnap May. Crush laughed, appreciating Yuri's companion's quick grasp. Crush informed everyone that her presence here was just a copy. Her main body was protecting May, but she couldn't hold on much longer. Alice asked if the enemies were so strong that Crush's evil eye couldn't harm them. Crush admitted that she couldn't exert her full power without risking May's tree and territory being destroyed. Ein realized that's why she always kept her eyes sealed with a cloth. He assured her that he would go there to protect them, so they needed to hold on a bit longer. Crush smiled, noting her sister's fondness for Ein. She left, saying that since Alice knew the location, she would wait for everyone to come and save her adorable younger sister. When Ein entered the hidden dungeon, he encountered demons waiting there. Ein knew he couldn't underestimate the demons, not even for a moment. A half-human, half-bee demon laughed, releasing numerous other bees. No one could stand against such a swarm. It mocked Ein for his arrogance in defeating Falco and Shadow. The demon was delighted to see the bees surrounding Ein in the middle, but suddenly realized Ein had disappeared. Ein appeared unexpectedly behind her, declaring he couldn't show mercy to demons. The bee demon protested, questioning why he would attack a weak woman from behind. Unfortunately for Ein, her ability was manipulation. With her inherent pheromones, she could freely control her kind. She laughed, enjoying being surrounded by children willing to die for her. Amidst a large swarm of bees, she challenged Ein to find out which one she really was. If he couldn't, he wouldn't be able to win. She boasted that just her bees alone would be enough to defeat him. Ein coldly stated that it didn't matter who she was, as he would exterminate them all. Ursula informed him that she had identified the core of their group, so he should just go ahead and kill them. The bee demon, shocked, asked if Ein was joking, but then, realizing her bees were being annihilated, she panicked. She opened her mouth wide, shocked that Ein had effortlessly destroyed all her S-rank bee descendants. Realizing the situation was hopeless, she decided that fleeing was the best option. Loanna caught her, asking if she was trying to run away. The bee demon loudly claimed it wasn't because of her weakness, but because Ein was too strong, and she would plan better next time. Loanna crushed her mercilessly, stating there's no chance for such trash. Loanna sighed, tired of dealing with such rubbish, especially the stupidity of her kind, which was not like before. Loanna approached Ein and introduced herself as the leading duchess of the demon race. She continued, saying Ein might lack magical skills but had detected her energy, calling him exceptionally talented. Although subduing these monkeys was the job of the lower demons, Loanna was intrigued enough to kill Ein and capture the spirits. Ein shouted, outraged that her target was not just him but also the spirits, and that was unforgivable. Loanna laughed, asking what Ein planned to do, as he immediately began absorbing levels and relentlessly attacked her. Loanna, amused by the pain, commented that it had been a long time since someone made her bleed like that. Soon, Loanna realized something was wrong, her powers weren't working, she couldn't even dodge simple attacks, and eventually, Ein decapitated her. Ein told her that he didn't just use his absorption skill once but throughout the fight, making her as weak as level 1 creeps. Loanna, knowing she had no chance of fighting back, crawled away with her severed head to escape. After resolving the trouble, Ein began searching for the entrance to the World Tree. He discovered an incredibly solid wall, sure that they were inside. Ein looked at the wall and turned to the others, questioning if it wasn't too obvious. Alice explained that it was covered by spirit magic, invisible to the naked eye. Ein realized he could see it because he possessed Yuri's eyes. Ursula commented that although Loanna couldn't see the wall, she seemed to sense its presence and kept attacking it, but fortunately, the wall was unaffected by her strikes. Ein, puzzled, wondered how they would enter now. Alice pointed to a spot where the tree was gradually opening a pathway. Crush stood inside waiting for them, saying she had waited a long time. Ein was surprised by the bright surroundings, despite being underground. Crush laughed, calling the girls her little ones. Pina was the first to run over, and they performed a series of hand gestures together. Ein, feeling dizzy, wondered what they were doing. Alice explained that it was a recognition sign between the two and added that they were called the unstable duo, because of their shared interests. Hearing this, Crush playfully asked Alice if she wanted to join their duo. Alice, expressionless, questioned what they were doing. To break the awkwardness, Ein expressed his relief that Crush was safe but then asked about May. Ein was taken to where little May was sleeping and was surprised by how small she was. Thinking not to disturb the sleeping child, he was about to leave when May suddenly started crying. Ein was startled, insisting he hadn't done anything to her. Seeing Yuri, May ran into her arms and pulled out a flower crown she had made, saying she had intended to give it to them when they arrived, but fell asleep before finishing it. Yuri sat down, thanked her, and placed the crown on May's head, complimenting how beautiful she looked with it. May beamed, asking if she looked pretty. Ein, standing next to Yuri, was glad she had stopped crying. Suddenly, May loudly told Yuri to stay away from Ein, calling him a bad person, having heard the commotion outside earlier. Yuri smiled, explaining to her sister that Ein was a good person who had driven the bad people away. Reassured, May ran to Ein's feet, apologizing for her misunderstanding. During the cheerful moment, Crush mentioned that May wanted to join them on their journey. She smiled at everyone, saying it would be fine, and that she respected May's decision, leaving herself in charge of caring for the World Tree. Ein asked Crush if she didn't want to join them, clarifying that he wanted to know what she wanted to do, not what she had to do, respecting her decision just as she did May's. He continued, asking if Crush also wanted to join them. Crush laughed, praising Ein as an excellent assessor, noting that he could assess not just skills but also the emotions deep in one's heart. Ein replied that she was too kind, but he thought the World Tree would be fine. To be sure, he would place a barrier and a clone of himself there to be ready for any situation. Crush thanked Ein and handed him the core spirits of herself and May. After doing so, Crush ran over to her sisters, announcing her decision with a laugh. Ein sat down with May, assuring her that he would protect her World Tree and that she didn't need to worry. Once everything was settled, Ein stepped back to stand next to Ursula, watching everyone happily. He confided in her that finally, the 5 of them could be together. Ursula agreed that it would indeed be lively from now on. With only 3 more to go, she believed Ein would make it. Ein whispered that he always hated himself, but meeting Yuri and the others, he wanted to protect, support, and make them laugh always. He felt warmth from them and, being with them, felt a strength from deep within his heart. Finally, he had come to accept himself. Ein was proud to be able to protect their smiles, wanting to maintain this spirit and walk proudly. Realizing he had spoken a lot, he laughed, saying he got overly sentimental. He felt he could share anything with Ursula, perhaps because she was his mentor. Ursula, after a pause, asked for the spirit cores. She explained that Crush's void eye would make everything Ein saw become indeterminate, erasing the existence of the object, thus consuming a lot of magic power and putting immense pressure on the eyes. However, since Ein had the holy eye, he needn't worry about blindness, though she wasn't sure about other side effects, advising not to overuse it. Then May demonstrated her control over the creation tree with her bare hands, saying it should only be used in desperate situations. Ursula praised this as excellent, explaining that aura is an energy that drifts in nature and can become a powerful source when combined to become more advanced. She noted that Loanna underestimated Ein and hence didn't use this. Ein, surprised, asked if that meant Loanna wasn't really serious in their confrontation. Not entirely. Ein's spirit sword has destructive power. It can cut through demons and absorb their negative aura. Ein laughed, saying that now he could directly confront them. After finishing their journey, Ein's group went to Nigan's mansion, which they had previously stayed in, to clean up and prepare for moving to a new residence. Ein allocated rooms for everyone and finally completed his part. Going to check on everyone's progress, he met Yuri, who was stunningly dressed, coming down from the upstairs. She explained that after cleaning up, they had prepared a party for Crush and Little May. So, she borrowed a dress from the upstairs dressing room. Ein said he would go get ready to join everyone, but Yuri stopped him, mentioning that everything was prepared and that the party was also a surprise for Ein. When Ein entered the party room, it was like stepping into a fairy tale world, with everyone looking incredibly beautiful. Pina brought Ein a new outfit, urging him to change into it. Ein emerged looking completely different from usual. Yuri complimented him, saying he looked like he stepped out of a fairy tale. Ein thanked everyone for choosing the outfit for him and expressed his gratitude to Crush for everything she had done, asking her to enjoy the party. Crush laughed, assuring she was fully enjoying herself. Yuri happily thanked Ein, saying it was because of him that everyone could meet and thanked him for everything. Ein smiled along with everyone, saying that when they are together, tomorrow will be happier than today, and so on for all the tomorrows to come. Jasper arrived the next day with things for Ein. Ein apologetically thanked him for carrying so much stuff. Jasper noticed that Ein's eyes seemed brighter, perhaps due to a new spirit core. Ein glossed over the compliment and introduced Jasper to the new arrivals. Then they discussed business, ensuring the safety of people in remote areas in the future. Jasper's Silver Phoenix Trading Company had decided to provide support by sending people to supply food and medical care. There was also a Lord's meeting today, which Jasper would attend on Ein's behalf. Ein apologized, admitting he wasn't good at such things. Jasper, before leaving, assured Ein he was doing it because he wanted to. When Jasper left, May and Pina couldn't help but admire him, calling him a man of work, intelligent and thoughtful. Ein felt disheartened, saying he could do nothing but fight. Yuri came close to Ein, comforting him that he was also very diligent. Pina humorously asked Ein if he knew the saying right person, right time, emphasizing the importance of relying on others when needed. Alice, who rarely spoke, advised Ein to just do what he was capable of. Ein loudly rallied everyone to go to the village and do whatever they could to help the villagers. Action, he said, was better than sitting idle and worrying. The village had become livelier, thanks to him, and the villagers' smiles had returned. Meeting Ein again, they had a request for him. They wanted him to teach them how to fight, to help if monsters returned. Ein started their training with running exercises. The villagers were surprised, asking if that was all, expecting something more like punching and kicking. Ein explained that running helps build overall muscle strength, making it an effective exercise for basic physical training. The villagers realized the wisdom in this and praised Ein for his intelligence. Cody, standing among the crowd, loudly denounced the idea of Ein being a dragon-slaying hero. He accused Ein of looking down on the villagers now that he was a lord and doubted Ein's rapid increase in strength, suspecting a hidden secret. A man frequently with Ein approached to apologize to him. Ein reassured him, saying he had experienced such things before. The man explained that Cody's parents were killed by demons when he was young, and after leaving to become a royal adventurer, he returned to abuse and not help with the reconstruction, uncaring about others' struggles. The man angrily stated that Cody had no right to say those things. Ein consoled him, thinking Cody would just come to mock for a while and then leave when bored. Ein then loudly told everyone to start training. He would lead by running ahead of everyone. Cody secretly thought that he would definitely surpass Ein. Everyone around at that time was astonished, looking at Ein and asking, "Are you jogging?" Ein's body moved smoothly without any superfluous movement. It didn't seem like he was using any skills or magic. This kind of ability doesn't just come from a day or two of learning, it's as if he had undergone training hundreds of thousands of times. Cody knew he couldn't keep up at this level. Ein told Ursula that he had already slowed down his pace, yet others still couldn't catch up. Pina replied that Ein was the strange one. Up until now, he had fought many enemies, and his body might have leveled up to that of a hero. Ein realized that his physical condition had improved without him noticing. An hour of jogging passed, and everyone directly collapsed on the ground. Yuri came to restore everyone, saying they had worked hard. Ein called Cody, who was standing aside, to come for recovery with everyone else, but he flatly refused. Ein led everyone to the second phase, getting accustomed to chasing monsters. Seeing everyone worried, Ein advised them not to worry as Yuri would heal them if they got injured. Kuro said Ein was unconsciously very similar to Ursula. Meanwhile, Cody, not wanting to train with others, went into the forest alone. He encountered an S-level one-eyed demon and wanted to run away in fear. But, he eventually stopped to carry out a dark plot. Cody found a stone and threw it at the monster, attracting a crowd to chase after it. He wanted to teach Ein a lesson but didn't expect to be the one in danger. Cody tried to flee but encountered little Mia gathering herbs. He got delayed trying to save her and was attacked by the monsters. Luckily, Ein, realizing the situation, arrived just in time to rescue them. When only the two of them were left, Cody asked Ein why he saved him. Ein casually told him that his parents also died when he was young. That's why he wanted to become an adventurer to make a living and endure the contempt like what Cody was going through. Moreover, Ein noticed that Cody had led the monsters in the opposite direction to protect the villagers. After listening to Ein for a while, Cody burst into tears, calling him Big Brother, and promising to follow Ein for life. Recently, Ein had always been paying attention to Ursula's complexion, feeling that she was not okay, as if enduring some pain. Hearing this, Ursula immediately replied that she did not have such a hobby. Ein sat on the ground, looking up at Ursula, wanting her to share the difficulties she was facing. Just like how she once helped him, he now wanted to do the same for her. Ursula, agitated, yelled that if he really wanted to help, he should leave her alone. Saying this, she walked away, ignoring the others who were watching her. Yuri was worried, not knowing what problems her mother was facing. Kuro told her not to worry and that she would go talk to her mother. Ein apologized to everyone for not being able to help. Kuro softly said that Ein's kindness had already helped a lot. Ein thought to himself that if it were Kugo, he might have an easier time talking to Ursula than he did. Kuro, trying to lift Ein's spirits, wished him luck with his lordship duties. Ein knew he had to do everything he could. Once Ursula was better, he was determined to make her proud of him. Ursula, hiding beneath the world tree, kept drinking without stopping. She thought to herself like a fool, feeling utterly ashamed. Ursula considered passing the guardian role to Ein. Since birth, she had been bestowed by the gods with the profession of sage, allowing her to cast magic without reading the scriptures. Her friends and parents hailed her as a prodigy, but she always felt an emptiness inside. Ursula constantly wondered why she had this power and what its purpose was. Then, one day, 9 sages were summoned to receive orders from the queen to split a branch of the world tree into 9 cores. Ursula was overjoyed, her long-standing emptiness dissipated. She finally understood why she was born, it was all to protect the world tree. But those peaceful days didn't last long when demons appeared and infiltrated the labyrinth. Since meeting Ein, Yuri's destiny began to change. According to Ursula, Ein was a pitiful person, pushed into the abyss just because of his lowly profession. Ein grew step by step, deserving to be a guardian. Ein had changed his fate and became even stronger than Ursula. Kuro and Ursula had an argument when they met. Ursula insisted that as Yuri's mother, she had to live to protect her daughter. Kuro argued that even if they were parents and children, everyone should have their own life. Ursula burst into tears, wondering what she had left in the end, and what it would be like if she gave up that responsibility. Kuro spoke softly, advising Ursula not to depend on the purpose given by the goddess. She suggested that when Ursula is no longer a guardian, she should do what she wants, live a life without obligations or responsibilities. Kuro wanted Ursula not to suppress her emotions too much and to cry out loud if she felt like it. Ursula realized that she had been too preoccupied with Yuri and had neglected her own feelings. She needed to answer the question of what she truly wanted to do. Once she had her answer, she would hand over her position to Ain. At the castle of the Demon Lord, the demons had gathered for a meeting to discuss eliminating Ain and seizing his territory. The demons kept talking nonsense, which annoyed Loanna. She quietly scolded them for being too noisy and not to infect her with their stupidity. Echidna announced that the purpose of this gathering was solely about Ain, who was causing a stir. She wanted to share some information, which was why she had invited everyone. Gorman, looking at Ain's reflected image, cursed him as the brat who killed Falco and Shadow, looking utterly disgusting. Suddenly remembering something, Gorman stood up and said that there was someone shameful who shouldn't be there. Shouldn't they deal with Loanna first? Loanna, angered, asked what he meant. Gorman laughed louder, saying she knew best, didn't she? The shame of losing to a mere human was not at all perfect. Loanna insisted she didn't lose but wasn't serious that day. Her powers had now returned and were even stronger than before. The other demons began to laugh at how she could lose to a human. Loanna, furious, wanted to take each of their lives. Echidna called for everyone to calm down, reminding them they were on the same team. In her anger, Loanna unintentionally pushed Echidna away, telling her not to touch her. Gorman, enraged, grabbed Loanna, saying he didn't care if she failed or lost. But if she continued to talk to Echidna like that, it wouldn't end well with everyone here. Loanna, realizing she had gone too far, softened her tone and asked Echidna for another chance, promising to surely take Ain's life this time. Echidna agreed but wanted her to make sure she could bring Ain's life back. Gorman spoke up, asking to join in, as he couldn't be at ease leaving it all to Loanna. With a menacing face, Gorman wondered aloud how a milk-smelling boy would fare when facing a demon. At the Lestic Territory training camp, the villagers wondered if they had really become stronger. Their training involved only running, fighting monsters, and more running. Cody, replacing Ain in managing the village, constantly urged everyone to train diligently. Suddenly, a portal from the demon world opened, and numerous demons along with Gorman appeared. Gorman looked around and noted that this was Ain's territory. A boy from the village, in panic, flailed his arms and legs, unsure of what to do. Accidentally bumping into a demon, to his surprise, he shattered it. The villagers started cheering, saying their hard training under the Big Brother paid off, and that they were right to trust him. They tried to use what Ain taught them to fight the demons, but before they could act, Gorman killed those demons himself, astonishing everyone. He declared that he didn't need useless beings, and trash should be disposed of. A fearless boy ran up, wanting to fight Gorman, claiming that he was strong enough to crush even a demon. However, he ended up being seriously injured. Seeing how Gorman fought, Cody realized that he was no ordinary foe. Crush stepped forward, wanting to fight Gorman herself. Cody, in fear, urged her to step back, warning that Gorman was a type of demon that manipulates the undead. He worried about what he would say to Ain if something happened to her. Crush assured him it was fine and told him to leave everything to her. Despite her appearance, she was in a difficult position. Crush announced that she could no longer hold back and ordered Cody to quickly take everyone to safety, as far away as possible. Following her instructions, Cody quickly led everyone to a safe place. The villagers worriedly watched Crush, about to fight. Cody comforted them, saying she was confident in her victory, so their task was to trust her completely. Staying there would only hinder her. Gorman noticed that Crush was different from the humans he had just encountered, especially in terms of her terrifying power. He mocked the idea of another power explosion but didn't see it as a problem, confident that he would handle it easily. His plan was to control this territory perfectly and then go after Ain. He guessed that this was the time Loanna was facing Ain, so he needed to clean up quickly. He couldn't let Loanna easily take the credit. Gorman laughed arrogantly, proclaiming that he would excellently complete the task he was given. Gorman told her to look carefully at the perfect masterpiece created from the corpses scattered throughout the forest. Crush said she didn't want to use this power at all, but it was him who forced her. In a moment, all of Gorman's monsters vanished. He shouted in disbelief, questioning how they could just disappear. Crush calmly said that she had accidentally obliterated them, or more accurately, they never existed. Gorman, in fear, asked if that was the atheist eye. She looked at him and said his power seemed to be at an absolute stable level, but she preferred something with a little flaw. Indeed, Gorman did not allow anything less than perfect. He had a family that loved him very much, but his parents were not perfect at all. If he killed them off, he could create another pair of perfect parents. Since then, everything for him had been utterly perfect. Gorman laughed, saying now a perfect death would only add to the beauty. On the other side, I'd let everyone go home early today because of an uninvited guest. When everyone left, he said she could come out now. Loanna appeared, thanking Ein for playing with her the other day. Ein curiously asked why she didn't attack the villagers while she was there. He thought demons always attacked innocent people. Loanna told him that such despicable acts were only done by lowly demons. She wanted just the two of them, this time believing he wouldn't have time for assessment or defenses. Loanna was astonished when her move was blocked. Why did I know such a technique? When she realized Ein could use aura, her head was once again severed from her neck. Loanna screamed that only demons like them were supposed to use it. Ein replied it was just like spirit magic, he just unconsciously used it. Loanna couldn't accept her defeat. She suddenly called out to Lady Echidona. Echidona appeared, asking if she had lost again, saying she knew it would happen. At this moment, Ein thought why the name sounded so familiar.